Let me guess. Have you ever left the house feeling impeccable only to realize 5 minutes later that something completely ruined your confidence? A white deodorant streak on a black shirt, a shoe that starts squeaking in the middle of the silence, that unbearable itch right in the middle of my back. They're small things, but at the wrong time they seem huge. And the worst part? They give early warning signs before becoming embarrassing. Small initial symptoms that almost no one pays attention to. But when you learn to identify these body signals, everything changes. The problem isn't the unexpected event itself. It's ignoring the silent symptoms that appear before it. That slight resistance in the zipper, the subtle friction on the heel, the itchy scalp before the blizzard on the shoulders. These are signs that your body is telling you something can be adjusted in a few minutes. And it's precisely these hidden symptoms that, if ignored, grow and become unnecessary social discomfort. Here's the interesting part. Most of these embarrassing problems don't require expensive or complex solutions. They're simple fixes. 5 minutes, sometimes less. What's lacking isn't time, it's awareness. Don't ignore these warning signs, because mastering small details completely changes how you present yourself to the world. Today, you're going to learn quick, practical, and almost invisible adjustments that prevent embarrassing situations before they even happen. And when you start addressing these details strategically, your confidence grows silently. Stay with me until the end, because after this video, you'll start to notice and fix problems before they even appear. Deodorant stripes. He left home feeling impeccable until he noticed those white deodorant streaks on his black shirt. It seems like a silly detail, but in that moment it turns into a mini social panic. The curious thing is that this also has its early warning signs. Excess product, clothes put on before they're dry, unnecessary haste. These are initial symptoms that your routine is too rushed. Don't ignore these body signals when you're dressing in a hurry and barely notice what you're doing. He understands that small silent symptoms, such as stiffer tissue in the armpit area or a different shine in the light, are hidden signs of product buildup. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when something looks a little strange in the mirror before going out. Want something practical? Wait a few seconds after applying deodorant before putting on your shirt. If it's already stained, use a clean sock or dry cloth to gently rub it. The friction removes a good portion of the stain. Observe these simple warning signs and adjust the habit. The interesting thing is that this type of embarrassment almost always stems from being rushed. Small, silent signs show that basic organization solves the problem. He realizes that 5 extra minutes in his routine prevent hours of mental discomfort. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore, because self-confidence begins with small details. And when someone starts paying attention to these minimal adjustments, they realize that even a noisy shoe can become an unwanted protagonist in a meeting. The squeaky shoe spectre. He once entered a silent room and creak, creak. Each step seemed like a public announcement of his own presence. Squeaky shoes are one of those awkward sounds that appear out of nowhere and echo in your mind. But this also has its early warning signs. Slightly loose soles, accumulated moisture, dried out material. These are initial symptoms of wear and tear that almost no one notices until it becomes an involuntary spectacle. Don't ignore these signals from your body and your own movement. The sound is telling you something. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as noise only on a specific surface or a slight looseness in the heel, are hidden symptoms of internal friction. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when your gait feels different. Want something practical? Remove the insole and sprinkle some talcum powder to reduce moisture. Apply candle wax or dry soap to the sole where there is friction. Observe the warning signs before leaving home, walking a few steps on a smooth surface. The curious thing is that the noise itself is often not the biggest problem. It's the insecurity it generates. Small, silent signs show how details influence posture and confidence. He realizes that resolving the noise takes less than 5 minutes, but ignoring the problem can affect the entire day. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore because self-confidence begins with physical comfort. And when someone starts adjusting these small flaws, they realize that even the smell on their hands after cooking can become another silent villain. Smelly hands after cooking. He's finished cooking, washed his hands twice, and yet that smell of garlic or onion persists. It seems like a small detail, but in a meeting or gathering it becomes a mental distraction. However, even here there are early warning signs. A persistent odor, even after using regular soap. An oily feeling on the skin, slight irritation after excessive scrubbing. These are initial symptoms that sulfurous residues are still present. Don't ignore these signals from your body, because excessive scrubbing can irritate the skin without solving the problem. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as a stronger smell when hands warm up, are hidden symptoms of compounds adhering to the skin's surface. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when the odor seems to return minutes after washing. Want something practical? Rub your hands on stainless steel, like the side of the sink or a stainless steel spoon, under running water. This helps neutralize the smell. Lemon with salt also works, but watch for warning signs if there are cuts on the skin. The curious thing is that often the solution lies in knowing the right material, not in brute force. Small, silent signs show that technique trumps persistence. He realizes that resolving the odor takes less than 5 minutes, but ignoring the problem generates unnecessary social insecurity. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore because personal comfort influences presence. And when someone starts paying attention to these invisible details, they realize that even a stuck zipper can turn into an unexpected emergency. The stuck zipper nightmare. He's already been there, running late, impeccably dressed, and the zipper simply decides to jam. It seems the harder he pulls, the worse it gets. This moment has its own early warning signs: sudden resistance, fabric caught between the teeth, slight misalignment in the track. These are initial symptoms that force isn't the solution. Don't ignore these body signals. When the impulse is to pull more aggressively, that's when the problem multiplies. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as a different metallic sound or uneven movement, are hidden symptoms of internal friction. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when the object seems to ask for gentleness. Want something practical? Use pencil graphite, dry soap, or a drop of light oil to lightly lubricate the teeth. Hold the stuck fabric calmly and move the slider slowly. Observe the warning signs before applying force. The curious thing is that the zipper teaches a simple lesson. Pressure rarely solves mechanical friction. Small, silent signs show that technique overcomes despair. He realizes that 5 minutes of patience prevents tearing an entire garment. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore because poorly managed frustration creates more damage than the initial problem. And when someone starts to master these small incidents, they realize that even that blizzard on the shoulders can be resolved quickly. The great flake escape. Has he ever worn a dark shirt and minutes later looked like he'd walked through a personal snowstorm? Dandruff is discreet until it appears in the right light. But it also sends early warning signals. A slightly itchy scalp, a feeling of dryness after a shower that's too hot, fine flaking that starts almost invisibly. These are initial symptoms of an imbalance in the scalp. Don't ignore these bodily signals because waiting for it to worsen only increases the embarrassment. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as mild itching at the end of the day or oilier strands near the roots, are hidden signs that your hair care routine isn't working properly. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when your shampoo doesn't seem to be working. Want something practical? Switch to a specific anti-dandruff shampoo. Avoid very hot water and gently massage your scalp for at least a minute. Watch for warning signs of gradual improvement over the weeks. The curious thing is that often the problem isn't a lack of hygiene, but excessive aggression to the scalp. Small, silent signs show that balance is more effective than intensity. He realizes that resolving this takes just a few minutes of adjustment to his routine. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore because personal comfort reflects on posture and confidence. And when someone starts taking care of these invisible details, they realize that even their heels can decide to become the villain in the middle of the day. Shoe heel blisters. He went out excitedly wearing new shoes and came home limping. A blister on the heel starts small, almost invisible. But it gives its early warning signs: repeated light friction, localized heat, a scraping sensation with each step. These are initial symptoms that the body sends before the skin breaks. Don't ignore these body signals, because waiting until it really hurts is the longest and most uncomfortable path. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as slight redness or tingling in the area, are hidden signs that friction is constant. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when your shoe feels perfect when stationary but strange when moving. Want something practical? Use specific adhesive tape to prevent blisters before your skin gets hurt. Apply some petroleum jelly to the area of friction or choose appropriate socks. Observe these warning signs early, not after the damage is done. The curious thing is that many blisters could be avoided with 2 minutes of preparation. Small, silent signs show that prevention is always simpler than cure. He realizes that ignoring minor discomforts often proves costly at the end of the day. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore because the body always speaks before it screams. And when someone starts listening to these subtle warnings, they realize that even the shine of an accessory can reveal another silent problem. The jewelry tarnish tragedy. Has he ever picked up his favorite chain and noticed that the shine has simply vanished? Tarnished metal might seem like an aesthetic issue, but it also carries early warning signs. Frequent exposure to sweat, perfume applied directly to the piece, humid storage. These are initial symptoms of oxidation. Don't ignore these signals from your body because even the natural chemistry of your skin influences the wear and tear of your jewelry. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as a slight stain on the skin after wearing the ring or a slight metallic odor, are hidden signs of a chemical reaction happening there. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when you notice a change in the metal's color. Want something practical? Store the pieces in a dry place, use moisture-proof bags, and clean with a soft cloth after use. In case of slight darkening, a simple mixture of baking soda and water can restore the shine. Observe these warning signs before the damage progresses. The curious thing is that the lost shine often returns with just a few minutes of care. Small, silent signs show that regular maintenance prevents greater wear and tear. He realizes that small neglect generates great frustration. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore because a well-groomed appearance conveys attention to detail. And when someone starts to notice these details, they realize that even that mysterious itch can hide another discreet warning from the body. The itch you can't scratch. Have you ever felt that itch right in the middle of your back, in a spot that's impossible to reach? It seems like a trick of the universe, but even that brings early warning signs: dry skin, irritated tissues, accumulated sweat after a long day. These are initial symptoms that the body sends before turning into constant irritation. Don't ignore these signals from your body because persistent itching rarely appears out of nowhere. He understands that small, silent symptoms, such as slight redness or a feeling of tight skin, are hidden symptoms of skin dehydration or a mild allergy. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you when the itching keeps returning to the same spot. Want something practical? Moisturize your skin daily, especially after showering. Use natural fabrics like cotton and avoid harsh soaps. Pay attention to these warning signs before the irritation intensifies. The curious thing is that often the solution is simple and takes less than 5 minutes. Small, silent signs show that the body is asking for continuous care, not drastic solutions. It realizes that ignoring mild discomfort only prolongs the discomfort. These are symptoms you shouldn't ignore, because attention to detail builds lasting well-being. And when someone starts to resolve these small, embarrassing situations calmly and strategically, they realize that self-confidence doesn't come from big changes, but from small, daily adjustments. Now tell me something. How many of these situations have you already experienced in silence, pretending that it was nothing? The truth is simple. Minor inconveniences rarely arise out of nowhere. They begin with early warning signs that go unnoticed. A slight friction on the heel, a smell that persists discreetly, a zipper that was already showing initial symptoms before finally jamming. These are signals from the body and the environment asking for quick adjustment, not prolonged drama. When you learn to identify these silent symptoms, everything changes. You stop reacting to embarrassment and start preventing it. Don't ignore the signals your body is giving you before leaving home, before entering a meeting, before an important date. These are hidden symptoms that, if resolved in 5 minutes, save hours of mental insecurity. And it is precisely these symptoms that you shouldn't ignore that build presence, posture, and confidence. Trust isn't built on grand speeches. It is born from small details under control. If this video helped you, if you learned something you can apply today, then it served its purpose. And if you want to continue learning simple solutions to problems that almost no one teaches you how to solve, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. Because in the next videos, we're going to continue transforming small adjustments into big differences. Now tell me in the comments, which of these solutions will you apply first?